Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a modern mansion. Please do remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Watch until the very end of the video to see where we place our modern mansion in our city. This is the amount of space required to make the build. And here are all of the materials that we will use throughout the build. Not only will we need this double chest filled with all of this stuff, but we will also need this as well. Begin by placing 17 white concrete in a row on the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Then extend backwards by 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then place a smooth quartz block on top. Extend to the right by 1. Then place 5 smooth quartz slabs extending right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right of this, place 2 smooth quartz block. Extend down using white concrete, and then forwards by 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then extend to the right by 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Then extend backwards by 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Then extend across the back of the build by 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Place 2 grey concrete. 1, 2. Then 11 white concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then place 14 oak planks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then extend the oak planks 11 rows towards the front of the build. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then place a white concrete in front of and to the right of the oak planks, and then simply connect all the way back to where we first started. Next, place a smooth quartz block on top of the very first white concrete block that we ever placed. And then place 12 upside down smooth quartz stairs extending back from this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then place a smooth quartz block behind, extend up by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then extend the smooth quartz to the left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and join down like this. We can even fill this little area in using smooth quartz, like so. We will leave this here for now, as this will be relevant later, and now we want to come all the way back to the front of the build and place a row of upside down smooth quartz stairs extending right along the row of white concrete. On the end, place a smooth quartz block, and then place a row of upside down smooth quartz stairs extending inwards towards the center of the mansion. We then want to do the exact same thing on the opposite side of the build. Place upside down stairs extending forwards to this corner, place a smooth quartz block on the corner, and then upside down stairs extending all the way over to the right until we hit the opposite corner of the build. Then place 17 upside down stairs extending along the back of the build. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Next to this, place a smooth quartz block and extend up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Extend left by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Extend up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then all the way over to the right. And the idea is to connect down to the opposite corner of the build, and then we can just take the time to fill the entire side wall in here using smooth quartz block. On the back of the build, we first of all want to extend the 2 single grey concrete blocks back 1 row, and then we want to extend every single grey concrete block up as high as the smooth quartz that we have just to the left of us. This will create a grey concrete pillar like this. The point of this is that we are then able to place a row of smooth quartz along the white concrete row at the bottom, extend a row of smooth quartz up along the pillar, and then all the way over to the left to form a solid wall like so. Next, come to the bottom left hand corner of the empty space and place a row of 2 smooth quartz block extending right. 1, 2. Then 7 light blue stained glass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Add 2 more rows of glass on top of the glass. Add a row of smooth quartz block on top. Then extend the smooth quartz block left a row, right a row, place 3 glass on top of the extended blocks, and then extend the glass inwards a row like so. It kind of looks like a face, which we then want to fill all the way around this in using smooth quartz. Perfect. Moving slightly to the right now. Begin by placing a row of smooth quartz block on top of the row of white concrete. Then, starting from the left side, we want to place a glass, smooth quartz, 7 glass, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, smooth quartz, glass. We then want to add 2 rows of glass on top of the glass, and then extend the smooth quartz up and over the glass. We then want to do a very similar thing starting on the left. We'll place a glass once more, smooth quartz to the right, 7 glass right of that, smooth quartz to the right, and then another glass. This time, we simply add just 1 row of glass on top of our glass, and then smooth quartz block in between and over again. So we have a slightly smaller set of windows on the top, but it is the same pattern as the windows below. Now, directly to the right of this, we have a bunch of oak planks. We want to extend the 2 oak planks on the left, outwards 1 row, and the 2 oak planks on the right, outwards a row. We then want to extend the pillar of oak planks that we have created up. They want to be 1 row higher than the area that we have just been working on. So they will look like this. You can see that it equals the height of the grey concrete pillar. However, we will also, at a certain point in time, extend up an additional half row using oak slabs. So we want to do the exact same thing on this corner as well, and this will help us to build our walls and kind of just figure out the dimensions of this place. So we equal the height of the row to the left, and the way that we have to do it is also add a row of oak slabs just at the top. And then take this bottom row of oak planks, add an additional row on top of it, followed by 3 rows of glass, 1, 2, 3. There will then be a row of oak planks, and then we'll place 3 more rows of glass, 1, 2, 3. Then an upside down row of oak stairs, and an oak slab on top. So we literally just want to take the entire vertical row that we have placed, extend it all the way over to the left. Coming over to the right side of the build, we now want to focus our attention on this row of oak planks at the bottom. We want to first of all extend it forwards, 1, 2, 3, 4 rows like this, and then extend that block all the way up, and we want to connect it to the back of the build to form a solid wall. So we do also have to place a row of slabs as well, and then we can simply extend an entire row of oak planks like this all the way to the back, and we can actually extend each one of the 4 oak plank blocks in the pillar forwards as well. But first of all, we'll just fill in this wall, and then we'll extend that additional row forwards. So that's the basic part of the wall made, and now we just simply want to add an additional layer of oak planks along the inside of it. Next, we want to make a pool. Begin by placing smooth quartz block along the inside of the front of this section of the house. We then want to add a row of 7 smooth quartz slabs extending backwards from the left side and the right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then on the end, a row of smooth quartz block that extends across like this. So we can place this row along the back, and then a row of smooth quartz slabs extending and connecting to the front like this. And this is the area of the pool. So underneath the left and right sides, I'm going to place light grey concrete like so. But along the back here, I'm going to place a pattern. It's going to be 2 light grey concrete extending inwards along the back, sea lantern, and then 3 light grey concrete, 1, 2, 3, sea lantern, 3 light grey concrete, 1, 2, 3, sea lantern, and then that leaves 2 to connect back to there. So inside of this, we are going to remove all of the grass. We are then going to add a strip of sea lanterns along the middle of the pool that coincide with the sea lanterns along the side of the pool, so you guys can see where these would be. And then we can add a base to the pool. It's up to you what you want to use. I'm going to go with white concrete. Then simply add water to the pool itself. It's up to you how much you want to add. If you want it to simply just stay in this lower part, or you can have it extend in from these slabs, I'm going to leave it like this. Next, we are going to fill the entire base of our mansion layout in using smooth quartz block. Next, add a row of white concrete underneath the entrance area. Then extend the smooth quartz slabs forwards by 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then underneath this, add another row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 smooth quartz slabs, extending down and forwards, like this. Then finish off by placing 2 rows of smooth quartz slabs extending down to the ground like this, or you can simply have them extend all the way out, like so. Then we're going to add some leaves to the side of this as decoration, probably all the way to about maybe here. Which means that we do just have to, you know what, we'll leave that as it is. And then I'm just going to remove all of the grass and whatever else we have in this general sort of area that you might be able to see. And I'm going to replace it with lime terracotta. So I'm just doing underneath the ramp right now so that I don't forget. But also just the area that remains just in front of the mansion as well. Next, come all the way over to the middle right side of the build. We're looking for this row of smooth quartz block. Left of this, place a row of 2 grey concrete extending left. Then, extend the grey concrete inner row. Extend that inward row to the left by 10 using light blue glass, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Place 2 grey concrete on the end and extend that row forwards. Then extend these rows of grey concrete all the way back, like so, to connect to the back row of grey concrete. And then we can raise up these 2 rows of grey concrete all the way up to equal the height of the grey concrete row at the back. This will help to form some interior walls and is rather handy in general. Next, raise up these 4 remaining grey concretes over on the right side of the build all the way up to the very top of the build. Then, add 2 more rows of light blue stained glass on top of the first initial row. Then, add a row of smooth quartz block on top of that. Then add 3 rows of grey concrete, 1, 2, 3, with a final row of smooth quartz block. We then want to extend the top and bottom of this overhanging row of smooth quartz to the left by 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And we want to do the same with the top. I'm quite confident that that was correct, so I'm just going to line it up with the row below. Then we simply want to extend these rows inwards and line up, first of all, with the grey concrete that we have just to the right of us, like this. We will work on the inward part of this a little bit later. However, what we also want to do is add some various rows of grey concrete. So, first of all, we have this pillar of grey concrete all the way down inside underneath what we've just made. We want to leave a gap of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then these last 2 rows we want to turn into a 2 by 2 grey concrete pillar, which will extend up and connect to this area here, which will eventually be smooth quartz. We want a similar thing all the way over here, so from this pillar of grey concrete we leave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a 2 by 2 pillar of grey concrete extending from the smooth quartz. However, this differs in the fact that it will extend all the way up and eventually connect to what will also be smooth quartz, but you can see the difference. So this corner here extends from the base all the way up to the ceiling, and the first row that we made only extends up just below the floor level of the second floor of the mansion. Next, we will come to the opposite side of the build and extend this giant pillar of oak planks all the way forwards. So the idea is that we extend the 2 by 2 pillar of oak planks all the way forwards to equal the length of these rows of oak planks here, and they also want to be as high, and we don't want to forget the oak slabs on top. Next, we will connect the left and right side together at the front by placing a row of oak slabs across the top. Then add another row behind. Add a row of upside down oak stairs underneath that first row, and a row of oak planks behind the stairs, just like this. This will make sense in a second. We then want to add 3 rows of glass extending down, 1, 2, 3, from the planks, a smooth quartz row underneath this, and then 3 light blue stained glass rows underneath that, and each one of these rows are going to extend left to right to bridge the gap between the 2 rows of oak planks. Perfect. So next we will extend these 2 rows of smooth quartz block all the way over and across to the right, filling in any little gaps that we may find. First of all, we will line up with the oak planks that we have here. Then we will extend an additional 2 rows further than the oak planks, and then we're just going to extend as far back as the smooth quartz block row that we have on the opposite side. So that's a nice safe area to extend, and the end result, you'll be able to see what we've done now, shall look like this. Next, we are going to make the middle part of the house. So come all the way to this grey concrete pillar area. We want to begin by adding a 2x2 square of smooth quartz block extending inwards from the pillar. Then, left of this back left corner, a light blue stained glass pane left of it. We then want to leave a gap of 1, 2, 3, glass pane, light blue stained glass, 2 smooth quartz block extending left, extend forwards a row like this. We then want to extend every single one of these blocks up by 2 rows, like so. Then place a row of smooth quartz block across the top, left to right, just like this. We are then going to add a row of smooth quartz slabs across the top of the front of the door. We may even add an addition... No, we will leave it like that, actually. We won't extend it any more than it should. And then place end rods in front of the center light blue stained glass panes, left and right, just where the entrance is. So this is a perfect opportunity for us to add the second floor of the house. All we have to do is simply fill in the entire area that we have created using smooth quartz block. So if you're not really sure where to fill in, there is literally an entire row of smooth quartz that kind of cuts this entire build in half. So literally connect all of that together inside each one of the 3/3 of the house and you will be good. Next, let's connect the left side of the house to the right side of the house. Begin by placing a row of light blue stained glass pane that extends across the top of the entrance here. Extending in from both sides, leaving a gap of 1 from the wall and also from the glass pane that we've just made, place a row of 1, 2, 3 smooth quartz block extending up from this balcony. So 1 away from the wall, 1 away from the glass, 1, 2, 3. Connect together left to right like this, and also outwards to the buildings. We then want to place a row of smooth quartz slab in front of the top of this area here. Then leaving a gap of 2 between the 2 rows of smooth quartz block that we made. We leave a gap of 2 and then place another 1, 2, 3 extending up. So gap of 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 extending up. Connect together, connect to the outer walls. This time, add some light blue stained glass in the middle. And you can actually leave both sides open if you want. However, I have just designed it so this side is kind of like the entrance side. And what we then want to do is simply fill the top of the overhang part, where this balcony is, in with smooth quartz. And the rest of this area, perhaps what we can do is we can add some rows of smooth quartz here, and then we can just simply fill the rest of the top in with glass so that we have some nice natural light bleeding in. We also want to add glass in between these 2 grey concrete pillars. We want to connect the inward part of the pillars together with a row of 3 glass like this. And also on the front, we want to connect the grey pillar to the smooth quartz wall that we have on the right side. And then that just leaves the roofs, which I'm going to smooth out and fill in with smooth quartz blocks. So I'm just going to make sure as I fill the whole thing in that everything looks nice as we make it, and where I need to, I'll just smooth out some areas so that we have some solid shapes rather than abstract ones. I don't want random bits of grey concrete and oak planks like poking through the roof. You can if you like, but that's not what I'm going for. And this doesn't mean to say that we won't add some skylights in as we progress through the build, but I think that they're more optional extras that we can choose to add when we have our interior built. Oh, and for the left side of the build, we're of course not using smooth quartz to fill the roof in, but oak slabs instead. I thought that it'd be worth mentioning that at this point in the video, we have successfully completed the actual structure of the house. Now it's time for us to decorate. Come all the way over to the back right hand side of our pool. From this block, move left, back 1, place a smooth quartz slab, 1 behind, smooth quartz stair behind that, leave a gap of 1 going left and then repeat the process. Left of the stair, leave a gap of 2, and then place an oak stair facing this way, 1 to the right of it, then a 2x2 square of end rods in front of these stairs with red carpet on top of the end rods. On the opposite side, place oak stairs, and on the sides of the oak stairs, we want to place oak signs. Place decorated pots extending out of the back 2 corners of the seats with flower pots inside of them and then ferns inside of those. Then leave a gap of 2 from this left chair and place a row of red carpet, like this. We then want to place looms backwards against the carpet and spruce trapdoors extending out of the front and back of the looms. Then birch trapdoors flipped up towards the front of the looms like this, just extending off of the back. A couple of red candles on one of these spruce trapdoors and a couple of yellow candles on another. Item frames on top of the looms and your favourite foods in the item frames. And there we have a barbecue. We should also probably add some blue stained glass pane all the way around the edge. Unfortunately, the glass will stick to the grey concrete pillar on this side, but what can you do? On the right side of the build, first of all, we want to add some trees. So, from the front left-hand corner of this empty space, we move inwards diagonally and place an oak fence. Then, 2 oak leaves on top of the fence, leave a gap of 2 going right, and then keep repeating this same process. So, a gap of 2, fence, 2 leaves, so on and so forth, until we eventually reach the equivalent position on the right side. Then, we want to come underneath the overhanging part of the house and place a row of 1, 2, 3 terracotta in between the inward pair of the pillars that we have here on the left, with lime terracotta on top, and lanterns hanging above left and right of the terracottas. We want to have the same thing over here on the right side. We also want to make a seating area in front of each one of these terracotta sections. So we place an oak stair in this position, moving outwards diagonally from the terracotta, and extend the stair across and turn it sideways like this until it is 1 row longer than the terracottas. Extend the ends forwards using oak slab, and then come to the opposite side and do the same. So here, extend across, and here, oak slabs extending outwards like so. We then want to place glass in between the seating areas like this, so right in between all of the seating, like so. It kind of wants to connect everything together diagonally, and then red carpet on top of the glass, like so, just like this. If you want, you can move or remove the oak slabs so that you can actually get around the table, but I think it's quite cozy and snug to actually like sit inside of the seating like this. Next, work your way to the entrance and place a brown glazed terracotta here in this corner with an oak leaf on top and a lantern hanging from the area above. Let's do the same on this opposite side also. So brown glazed terracotta, oak leaf, and a lantern hanging here as well. I would understand if you wanted to remove this set of lanterns because there would otherwise be too many lanterns. Then, moving up to the next level, we want to add a lantern here in this position and here in this position on top of the glass pane in front of the pillars. Then, inside of these little gaps, flower pots suspended in the air with ferns inside of them, and it looks as though that they're actually attached to the ceiling. And then if we drop into this area, we want to have a set of seating here. So this is 2 oak stairs, 1 away from the pillar, and, well, 1 away from everything. The pillar, this wall, this wall. We want to have the same on the opposite side, and we can also grab the oak signs and add the signs either side of the oak stairs. Then grab the red carpet, and we want to place a 2x3 row of glass, just connecting the 2 sets of seating together with red carpet on top of the glass like this. And there we go, that is actually the entire outside of the house complete now.
With the entire outside of the house made, we are now able to head inside and work on the interior. First of all, let's knock out some walls. The first of which is right to the left of us. Leave a gap of 1 here on the left and then destroy 1, 2, 3 rows of oak planks, floor to ceiling, like this. This is the entrance into the living room. On the opposite side of the build, we want to have the same thing. Leave a gap of 1, destroy these 3 rows of grey concrete. This is the kitchen dining room. As we enter the house, however, this is, I suppose you might call it a foyer? Question mark? I don't know, but there's a set of stairs that leads us up to the 2nd floor and some nice plants. So the plants start along this wall. We leave a gap of 1 from the end here and place a brown glazed terracotta. We then leave a gap of 3, 1, 2, 3, and then in this corner, place a brown glazed terracotta, stick some oak leaves on top. We also want to have a painting in the middle of these, a 1x1, and then lastly, a lantern hanging above the painting. And we want the same thing on the opposite side here, so 1 row away from the edge, terracotta, 1 in the corner, leaves on top, a 1x1 in the middle, lantern above it, and it's just kind of nice, especially as this will help us to frame these stairs. If we leave a gap of 1 from the left and right of the first set of plant parts, this gives us the positioning for the stairs. We can even shrink this a little bit. I think it would look a little bit better with a row of 5 stairs, so leave a gap of 2 rather than a row of 1. You could do both actually, but it's kind of personal preference. I think this looks better. And we want to extend these stairs all the way up into the second floor. Now this will be rather difficult without destroying our house, so we are going to do some of that. So here we go, perfect. So as long as we can get up here, we should have a row of 1 smooth quartz remaining as we hit the top here. And do remember to add these stairs underneath as well, just because it does look a little bit better. And this just takes us up to the second floor rather nicely. And we are now able to tunnel into the bedroom, and the bathroom for the bedroom is going to be right here. So notice how we are leaving a gap of 1 here on the left, and we're just creating a 2x2 space. You could make this taller, you could make it wider, you'll see as we start progressing through the build, but I just kind of wanted to tunnel into these rooms to kind of show you guys the layout a little bit better. And over here as well, this is kind of like a rec room, a games room. We want to tunnel into there also. And or if you want, you can just have like a 1x2 walk space, like you can have the minimum amount, or you could go for 3. It's kind of up to you. We'll mess with this as we progress, but we could also have an entrance out onto the balcony here as well. And we could even add some glass to, because as we get up to the top of the stairs here, it's kind of like almost overwhelming, or at least I think so. It's like, what, hang on guys, where do we even go? There's so many options. So with a bit of glass, I think that this might actually help to kind of like lead us in a few different directions. So after you are happy with that, we are going to come all the way downstairs into the living room. You know guys, I was just appreciating the view of the city from here. It's kind of cool, isn't it? First of all, we want to place some bookshelves along this back window. So leave a gap of 1 here on the left and place a row of 2 bookshelves. Leave a gap of 1, 2 bookshelves, gap of 1, 2 bookshelves, and then extend them all up to the ceiling. Like this. Then, starting from this bookshelf here, we want to leave a gap of 1, and then place a smooth quartz stair and extend it all the way over to the right and line it up with the bookshelf on the opposite side of the room. We want to flare the end stairs inwards like this and stick quartz slabs on the end. Then, in front of this, we want to leave a gap of 1, and then in the floor, dig 1, 2, 1, 2, and place sea lanterns here. So from the center of the sofa, we leave a gap of 2. We then place sea lanterns, add string left and right of the sea lanterns. We then want to grab glass, place glass on the sea lanterns, red carpet on top of the glass, and the string. And there we have a nice modernish looking table. Then, in front of the table, as we look towards the patio, leave a gap of 2 from the center of the table, and then hanging down from the ceiling, we want to make sure the position for this is correct. We want to place 2 black concrete. Extend the row down, and then out on both sides, and add note blocks either side of the black concrete to make a hanging TV. Then, lastly, we are going to add some potted plants in the form of brown glazed terracotta. So this is just 1 row away from the window next to the patio, extending inwards. And I also want to have some more plants 1 row away from the entrance here. So kind of like in between the sofa and the coffee table, just like this. That's perfect. And we're also going to stick some paintings on the wall as well. So just kind of like leaving a row of 1 from the... Is that the same? No. Leaving a row of 1. I think that looks pretty good away from the plan. And there we go. Fully completed living room. Pretty happy with that. Next, let's head into the opposite side of the house and work on the kitchen and dining room. So, first of all, the kitchen. Come all the way over to this back corner and place a row of 4 light grey concrete extending to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then place 2 blast furnaces. 1, 2. A light grey concrete. 2 black concrete, a block of iron, place an iron trapdoor on the block of iron and raise the black concretes up towards the ceiling, place an iron bar and a tripwire hook in front of one of each of the middle blocks, back-to-back stone stairs above the blast furnaces attached to the ceiling, like this, and then place light grey concrete everywhere else in the gap. Then place a detector rail on top of one of the furnaces, place a polished black stone pressure plate on top of the other furnace, flower pot along this counter space, cake, item frames with different fun things in them, biscuits and pie or whatever it is that you would like to have in your item frames. Next, leave a gap of 2 in front of this right furnace, so 1, 2, and place a cauldron on the ground. Right of it, place a light grey concrete, extend forwards 1, and then left by 3. 1, 2, 3. Then, place light grey concrete left of the cauldron to form a rectangle. A lever next to the cauldron as well, a couple of brewing stands along here, place some flower pots wherever you like, and add some plants in them. So just keep adding stuff until you're happy, but I think that that is the perfect amount of things for me. Next, leave a gap of 2 from the kitchen island and place a row of white concrete that is the same length as it. Destroy the 2 middle blocks in the ground in front of these 2 white concretes and place sea lanterns in there instead, white concrete around the sea lanterns, and glass on top of the sea lanterns. We now want to place oak stairs, extending off of each one of the 4 corners of the table, and place either a flower pot or an item frame in front of each seat. Then we are going to place oak signs on the sides of the oak stairs, just like this. Finally, we are going to place some brown glazed terracotta pots extending along this back wall. We'll place a pot, gap of 2, pot, gap of 2, pot, gap of 2, pot, gap of 2, and then oak leaves on top, just like this. And if you're feeling fancy, we can also add a painting or 2 along this wall. So just make sure that you kind of like leave a gap of 1 between everything and it'll look good. And that is the kitchen dining room complete. So next we are going to head upstairs and take a sharp right into the bedroom. And the first thing that we have to do is make a separating wall between the walk-in closet and the rest of the room. So in this corner, leave a gap of 1, 2, 3, and then place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grey concrete extending outwards, just like this. Perfect. We then want to add another row of grey concrete against this wall here. Then, inside of the closet, we want to add an item frame in the ground in the corner, and then a spruce trapdoor above it, and then above that. And we want to place these blocks in such a way that we are able to stack item frames on top of them, and we will have a collection of shoes in the item frames. Next to it, an armor stand, which we will outfit with a diamond chest plate and diamond leggings. In the corner here, place a row of white concrete with 2 end rods extending out, and we'll have another row of white concrete on the end, just like this. Then we'll place a painting along the top wall here, and we'll also place some banners on the ground connecting up into the end rod, and we could even have a couple more paintings as well. Then we have to give this thing a door, so this is just going to be a row of glass pane to look like a sliding door, and there we go, walk-in closet. You could even add a little bit of a rug inside here as well in the form of coral, although that is actually very high. That's probably a bit too much. You could use carpet though, so maybe just some white carpet or something if you wanted to. I think that kind of adds to the build, I think. I think we are going to remove the inner part of this wall and place bookshelves from the floor all the way up to the ceiling, like this. That's a good look. And then we want to make a rather large bed against this wall. It's a row of 3 red wool, kind of just in the middle of the wall like this. And we want to extend it forwards, 1, 2, 3 as well. Add white carpet along the top of the bed, just like so. And then leave a gap of 1 in front of the bed. Actually, we'll make it a gap of 2, leave a gap of 2 in front of the bed, and then we will place a rug on the floor like this in the form of brain coral, but you could use any kind of coral that you like. We're just looking for like a grey shaggy rug, so I think that fits the description nicely. And then, hanging from the ceiling behind this rug, we want to place a row of... Actually, we will actually have it on the wall. So, a row of note blocks in front of all of the coral, just like this. Or rather, in front of the smooth quartz blocks, which is also in front of the coral. And then black concrete extending all the way up to the ceiling, like so. So I think that looks pretty good. And we could even have a couple of paintings on the wall as well. So just next to the bed, there's enough room for a couple of 1x1s, just like this. And we could even have a lantern as well, depending upon what sort of light you want in this room. But a lantern there I think would look rather nice. So finally, along this wall, we are going to take the middle of it, leave a gap of 2, and then place a grey concrete. Gap of 2, grey concrete, gap of 2, grey concrete. And we want to surround these grey concretes with spruce trapdoors, like so. So we are going to make essentially some cubes hanging off of the wall, just like this. And I'm going to place flower pots in them with various flowers in them as well. And I think that it's just a nice decoration. Something that I don't want to forget about is every time we've had to make an entrance, we'll likely have like grey concrete on the ground or maybe even some oak planks. And I would just like to fix that using smooth quartz, because otherwise we may forget about it and it just doesn't look very good whatsoever. So what has happened here with this wall? I think that we have to remove this. Or alternatively, shove the wall back an additional row, but then that would change the bedroom, so I don't think that we'll be doing that. Heading into the bathroom now, first of all, we are going to add a potted plant all the way over in the corner of the room. So that's a brown glazed terracotta with an oak leaf on top. Right of it, a light blue banner. Then, 1, 2, 3, smooth quartz stair extending out from this wall. And we want to extend it across, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then back to the wall, just like this. Along the wall as well, inside of the tub, we want to place a lever, tripwire hook, stone button, and we also want to add water. So if we just add 1 block on each side, I think that will do. Perfect. So I don't want to add too much. Okay, yeah, that's perfect. So next to this, we are going to place a light blue banner, and then a brown glazed terracotta, oak leaf on top, with red carpet in front. So now we have a rather large bath, we've got some towels, we have some potted plants, and then over here against this wall, we'll have a sink in the corner, so that's 2 upside down smooth quartz stairs with a tripwire hook and a lever above them, a painting on the wall above, flower pot to the right of this, cauldron to the right of that, and we'll have a spruce trap door just flipped up. And then we can either have a couple of towels, or you could even kind of like add a little faux wall here by placing some grey concrete, and I think that would look good as well. And that's the bathroom complete, so we are going to head all the way over to the opposite side of the house now. The games room. First of all, we are going to place 2 rather large bookshelves. So these are towards the front of the room. We leave a gap of 1 and place a row of 1, 2, 3, 4 bookshelves stemming from the ground all the way up to the ceiling. And the opposite side as well, gap of 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way from the ground all the way up to the ceiling. Now this is great as it allows us to position our pool table. So our pool table is right in the middle of the floor here. So this is going to seem weird, but we want to leave a gap of 2, so 1, 2, from the 2 center rows of the bookshelf, so 1, 2. And then we want to place 2 oak signs on the ground like this. Then we want to do the same thing from this bookshelf, so 1, 2, and then we want to place 2 oak signs like this. And then place green carpet. Okay, so unfortunately we're going to have to crouch. So we want to place green carpet on top of each one of these signs like this. There's some collateral damage here. And we also want to place green carpet in between the signs to form a rectangle like so, and raise them up so that they are equal in height, and then surround the entire table with dark oak trapdoors, and just flip them up. There we go, probably the simplest pool table that you will ever make. We want to add a TV onto this back wall, so we take these two middle blocks of the bookshelf. Notice how everything stems from the bookshelf. We leave a gap of 1 and then place note blocks on the wall. We then want to have a row of 1, 2, 3, 4 black concrete with note blocks on the end. Then we can even add a rather large painting, and there we have a TV. And then on the opposite wall, a bunch of arcade machines. So leave a gap of 1 from the bookshelf, place a yellow concrete, gap of 1, lime concrete, gap of 1, red concrete. We're just going to seal up this doorway a little bit. There we go, that's perfect. So above each one of these, we want to have a painting. So it's a 1x1 painting on the wall, preferably different ones because these would be different machines. Place the corresponding concrete above each one of the paintings and buttons in front of the bottom concretes with levers on top of them as well. And then if you want, you can even label the machines as well with, I don't know, Space Invaders, TMNT for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then, I don't know, like Mortal Kombat. It's Mortal Kombat with a K. It seems wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is. So next, we will leave a gap of 2 in front of these machines, so 1, 2, and then we will place a row of light grey concrete that corresponds with the length of the machines. Then extend the ends of the grey concrete across, 1, 2, 3, and join them together in a rectangular shape, which we then want to add sand to, just like so. And I don't know whether I like the idea of adding buttons along the outside of the tank, or whether to just leave it alone. I kind of want to leave it alone. And we are going to raise up the sides of the tank all the way up to the ceiling, like this, using light blue stained glass. But in the corners, I'm going to add light blue stained glass paint to kind of give a curved feeling to the tank. You could equally just use glass block as well. This means that we do have to dig our way into our fish tank to add our water though, so we'll just do exactly that. Perfect. And then all we have to do is add everything that you might want to have in a fish tank. So sea lanterns for light, seagrass, I like kelp a lot, some coral just like this, and a bunch of fish. And once you've done that, we can exit, patch the roof, and there we have a fish tank right in the middle of our games room, which is really cool. You could even add a bit of seating. We don't have a stair block, do we? But maybe we could use spruce since that's a bit of a theme. So maybe we could just have a little seating area here. Or maybe it can even be a bit larger. There we go, to kind of like fit to the form of the tank. And we could even watch TV from this position also. So that's absolutely perfect. I'm just realizing it's a bit dark in here, so I'm thinking some lanterns hanging from the bookshelves would do just fine. And yeah, perfect. Games room complete. Rook at the bottom of the stairs, yay or nay? I'm really not sure what to do about the rook situation, so I'll leave it to you. But once you have figured that out for yourself, we will have 100% fully completed this tutorial. Which leaves but one thing, ladies and gentlemen. We must now take our modern mansion and move it into our city. We are going to keep our modern mansion roughly in the same position, however we are going to spin it around so that we are facing our modern suburbs. We are also going to elevate the mansion as well, and that means that we have to build a road up to it, and we are also going to build up a slightly hilly mountainous area. We're not going to go too far with this though, because I still don't have a concrete plan or grassy plan for what will happen in this surrounding area, so we don't want to disturb the ground too much, and there we go. I'm very happy with how this has turned out. And that's it. I do hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial. Please do remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you are looking for more things to add to your Minecraft world, look no further than the Mini City Builds playlist down below in the description. As of recording this video, we almost have 70 tutorials for you to build. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.